Hey guys, it's Kevin, State and Co Truck Insurance, and in today's video we'll talk about the big lies that trucking companies tell new hires. And especially today when many owner-operators are giving up and they're just either running for the exits completely or signing up with bigger companies to work as a company drivers for them. It's pretty common for bigger players to kind of, I wouldn't say exploit, but to promise different things that in reality cannot be delivered for the new drivers, and especially the ones that been in the industry maybe a few months, few years. They don't know what's what or ins and outs. And it typically starts, so the line number one, every trucker that we hire gets 3,000 miles per week. And we're talking about long haul, over the road trucker. And 3,000 miles weekly is a big, big stretch. And especially in today's environment, inflation, loads not paying well, the diesel price is high. The realistic number is probably going to be around the 2,500 mile mark. And I'm not saying that you will not have weeks where you'll hit 3,000 miles, and it could be, back to back several weeks, but in the long run, it's hard to sustain that 3,000 mile mark every single week. Line number two, you will be home every single weekend. Again, if you're a long haul over the road trucker, the weekly home runs probably not going to be possible. You will be all over the place. You'll go to New York, Texas, California, all 48 states. And the chances are that instead of being home every single week, you might hit your home bed maybe once, twice per month. I mean, unless you're hired as a regional driver and, the company clearly states to you that, hey, you're just running a couple states, East Coast, up and down, then chances are that, yes, you might be hitting your home base every week or maybe, a couple times a week. But for long truck, long haul truck drivers, that's not going to be possible. Line number three, road conditions. We will never, we don't run in bad road conditions. It's kind of typical one where companies will say, well, if it's, bad weather, hurricane, snow, we're just shutting down, we're staying put. But, the reality is that, everybody's making money and, company needs to make money. So if it's a few days of bad weather, they might skip a day or two, but if it lasts longer, and again, if it's not very harsh conditions, you might be asked to put those, chains on your wheels, and even in the snow, go ahead and deliver it because, the company gets paid. And that's how they make money. Line number four, we will never ask you to do anything that you don't want to do. So if you don't want to go to New York City, you don't have to go. But again, the reality is that if that load is paying $5 per mile and the load is, New York City, guess what? I mean, if you're going to be dispatched, again, you're a company driver, you'll have to go and deliver that load because it's just too good to pass that much money for the company. And, they're probably not going to care much about all the stress and hassle and that you'll have to deal with, the nightmare traffic and paying the tolls and all that. Again, you're a company employee, you'll do what you're asked to do. Line number five, our trucks never ever break down. We have brand new equipment. And again, if those are new trucks, chances are that, might be months and few years before anything happens. But in this business, mechanical breakdowns, the question is, if it's going to happen. The question is when it's going to happen. At some point, something will go wrong. You might run over something on the highway. The wheels get damaged, and you'll end up in a body shop. And even how excellent and new those trucks do break down. Line number six, lease to purchase programs. That's kind of one where, instead of being a company driver, you're being promised and you're kind of, they give you what it's called the lease to own option, where, you're getting an option to own the truck at the end of, after all the payments are made. And, in theory, this might look like a good option, But after all the expenses are paid, the reality is that you're probably better off just, getting paid, per mile or percentage of the load than dealing with, lease to purchase option through the company. There is a difference if you're leasing your truck from a finance company. That's a lease through a finance company. But if you're leasing from your employer, you will be responsible for your own maintenance, all the updates, gas, all that. So after all the expenses are paid, most of the time you will not be coming ahead compared to that company driver that gets paid per mile or percentage of the load. And line number 7, companies will tell you that we are the best company in the industry. We're the top family-owned business, the most admired company by our employers, and here's our awards. We just got one from the local business journal or J.D. Power and Associates. You have to understand that all this is just pure marketing. All the awards and stars ratings for the companies, this is just advertising. Those can be bought, and it makes company look good. But the truth is that typically the companies that are good, they don't need to brag and advertise about that, because truckers know and talk to each other, and they kind of gravitate towards those companies. And again, not to say that, hey, if the company is the largest family-owned business, or they were nominated the top employer in a particular city, that could be the case, because maybe they are hiring hundreds and hundreds of drivers. But you kind of have to take that with grain and salt and be a little bit skeptical when somebody is saying that we're best in this and that. That's all I have for today. So please stay tuned, keep watching our videos, and if you hit that subscribe button, we really appreciate it. And see you next time. Bye.